We are here. Do I want the camera up this way or the other way? Let's see. We don't know if those two videos are going to go together, but anyway, we are here. This is an Amazon working on a job update, and we are where? We're at the Amazon. Actually, this is an inspirational video. Who are we here with? We're here with Kurimu. Don't look at my license plate. The old Scoot. She still scoots. It's been since what, June, that I've been scooting. And I love my Scoot. I did buy a van for a little van project. If you follow my channel, then you know, you can probably determine or surmise what that project is, and that'll be forthcoming, and she's actively being done. Anyhow, but this is for Amazonian inspiration. So this marks maybe I'll be working at Amazon for nearly 6 months now. Now I have come across a number of individuals that have quit Amazon, and they say, oh my God, Amazon is so horrible. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. One thing that my instructor or my ambassador that was for my orientation told me was, remember your why. And I think I said that in the last video. And when I say that, that is one of the most important mindsets to have when embarking on the journey of working at Amazon. It is absolutely vital. It's crucial. It's make or break. My why was I needed it for school and to be considered in-state residential, so I wouldn't be charged the exorbitant rate of being out of state. But then when I got here, you know, it turns out that they pay for tuition. And I was like, oh, as much money as I spend on Amazon, I need some of that money back. Now, do they actually pay for do they really do tuition reimbursement? They do, and I forgot something. I'm actually going to post it right here. Yeah, so in their hiring process, I believe that Amazon hires on the off season of school. So I was hired as a seasonal employee in May, and after 30 days, I became a full-time employee. After 90 days of being a full-time employee, Amazon will do tuition reimbursement. But because of the way that they hired me and the time frame that they did that in, because I wasn't full-time until June, so July, August, school starts in August, the fall semester starts in August. So it was September that I would have been eligible, September 16th that I was eligible for tuition reimbursement. And so I think that they kind of bank on when they do it out of season, they won't have to do it the same year or within like the same first 6 months of you working for them in order to do tuition reimbursement. But because one of my classes didn't start until September 18th, that class was covered. But they also did do tuition, they did the bookstore reimbursement, and they did do the fees. So all in all, for 2023, working here for going on 6 months, going on 5 months, or a full 5 months as a full-time employee. Wait, right? July, August, September, October. Going on 5 months as a full-time employee, they reimbursed a little over $1,300. Now next year, because I'm not gonna quit, I'll be getting the whole $5,250 because we're gonna need that. What do I want to say? So yeah, they indeed do. They're quite strict about it, you know, and it's a total breakdown on the website about all the qualifications and what they will reimburse and whatnot. But the process is relatively easy, especially for like, well, actually I wouldn't say that. It's not that easy. It is easy. The bookstore was denied like maybe the first time or the first 2 times, and then I just resubmitted it with the same information, and then they approved it. And then the fees was denied like 3 times, and I called and I was like, hey, what's going on? You guys said that, you know, fees can be reimbursed no matter when you start classes. And so they ended up reimbursing me that $600. So they covered the one class that was $842, $600 for the fees, and then $204 for the bookstore. So hey, alhamdulillah, I can't complain. So yeah, we said remember your why. Oh yeah, so I actually had recorded some of me working. So I do pick and pack, and I did a time lapse, and then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I actually don't even know if this is against their policy. So you guys can go to someone else's YouTube and see about the picking and the packing. No, trust, it does get tiring. Working at Amazon is physically demanding. Granted, I'm in building construction. That's the degree program that I'm in. And so I love physical labor. But this is a different kind of physical labor. And it's not even that it's something that's arduous. It's just, it's an endurance type of thing. The 10 hours, and if you're in pick, that 10 hours of walking, it can be intense. That's an intense thing, because you're constantly bending, pulling, pushing. Sometimes the objects are heavy, sometimes they're light, and then after a certain amount of time, you're going to become lazy, and that's when your ergonomics is going to go all the way out of the window, and then you're going to injure yourself. And I have I've stressed some of my, like my wrist on it. Oh yeah, I went to school today, and I'm about to do a 6:30 to 5 a.m. shift, which is, in my opinion, the worst shift ever, but I picked it up because I need a little bit of extra finances. And so I'll say this as well. Amazon is beautiful with the ability to pick up shifts. So I previously worked at FedEx, and FedEx allowed you to, and it was a FedEx, basically we were taking the packages off the trailers and putting them on the belt. That was arduous, because everything in a box was, at the very least, at the bare minimum, those boxes were 10 pounds at the bare minimum. But on average, you were looking at 30 plus. And this is and with their system, you would only work for 2 to 4 hours max, and then you'd be off for like 3 hours, and then they'd want you to come back. And I'm like, that's stupid. I'm not going to do that. Well, I did it for about a month. But anyway, here I do love that it's a full 10-hour shift, and you're working 4 days a week. You get your 40 hours. You have the ability to leave whenever you want to with your UPT or your PTO. And I feel like there was something else I was about to say about picking up shifts whenever you need them. Like, although I hate the 6:30 to 5 a.m., it is beautiful that I have the ability to pick it up so that I can, meet my financial obligations as need be. But if you are working the 6:30 to 5 a.m. shift and it works for your lifestyle, more power to you. For me, I needed it for when it was getting dark and I was driving the scoot at night. So originally I was working the 1 to 11:30 p.m. And so getting off at 11:30 p.m. driving a scooter, I was like, bro, I'm about to hit deer. I'm not about to be out here hitting deer. Like that wasn't safe. And then, since I was still obviously still driving the scooter, because I'm driving it now, the 6:30 to 5 a.m., I personally like to sleep at night. Circadian rhythm is a thing, because Allah made the day for work and the night for rest. And so being up while it's night is not conducive to my mental health, but I needed to do it for as long as I did it in order to drive during the daytime. So I would be getting off at 5 a.m., but I wouldn't actually leave here until like 6:30, 7 o'clock, when it started to get light outside. That wasn't going to work since I started school. So as soon as I started school, I was able to change to the morning shift, 7:30 to 6 p.m. Absolutely love this shift. And as a full-time student, I'm able to take, any student, if you're a part-time student, you can do this too, I believe. No, not think it is full-time. Because I'm a full-time student, I'm able to take off 10 hours of my schedule a week. So I only took off 8 hours. So Thursdays I work a different shift, and then Saturdays I work a different shift. And it's, it really does help. Especially when it's like, ooh, it's a short day. Needed it. I mean, honestly, Amazon is not a career. People make it a career. I have no desire to stay at Amazon and grow up their tier ladder. I thought I considered it, because orientation, I don't know, I was just super hyped during orientation, and I was like, this job is great, and I still think the job is great, but I just don't have the desire to progress any further than just a tier 1 worker. I don't personally want any obligations to have to be here when I'm not here. I believe when you become an ambassador, they're gonna kind of want you to not be using that UPT or that, you know, like just leaving whenever. So I need the ability and love the ability to just leave. Like, you can literally, if you've got the time on your account, you just don't have to ask anybody anything. You don't have to tell anybody anything. It is a courtesy to let your managers know, you know, an hour ahead of time. Like, you know, if they ask, like doing like a, like, what is it called? I can't think of it, what it's called. Like a pre-shift, basically. Like, you know, they say, or for the second half, like, if you guys plan to leave, just let us know so we can like try to cover down. And if, you know, if I hadn't decided by then I won't say anything. But if I had already decided, then I will say like, oh yeah, I'm probably gonna leave at like 4:15, 4:30, 5 o'clock, whatever. So I think that's all, you know, that I have to say about, you know, the Amazon update. I personally think that it's well worth it. Oh yeah, like I said, it's not the work that we're doing as pickers and packers is not supposed to be a career. Like, they actually encourage you to enter into school. Like, it's posted everywhere. It's in the bathroom stalls. They're like, hey, spring semester's coming up. If you've been here and you're past your 90 days, they're like, go to school, get this free money, do something for your education to where you don't have to be working here at Amazon. Granted, we just got a pay raise, and I mean, it is a great, in my opinion, as someone who has worked a number of jobs, gig work, all kinds of work, I think it's a great transitional stepstone, especially with all the benefits. So if you were contemplating on quitting and you were on the fence, I say push it out. You know, weigh out your options and maybe, you know, see if you can just push through. And if you were considering and were on the fence about coming to work for Amazon and you weren't sure because of all the crazy stuff you have heard, I say try it out as well. Just be sure to make sure that you're doing your stretches. Be sure that when you start to get fatigued, that you aren't being so lax with your ergonomics, your body mechanics, that you injure yourself, because that's not Amazon's fault. That's your fault. And I'm not, you know, saying like, I'm sticking up for Amazon, but I mean, in the reality of it is, when you don't close a bin correctly, or when you don't step off of a ladder correctly because of fatigue, I mean, either clock out, take a breather. Who's over your safety? This is what we learned in our OSHA class. The one person that's, and actually it's in the bathroom here at Amazon too. You're over your safety. You're in control of your destiny. That's so funny. But yeah, you're in control of it all. So that would be my advice to, you know, those who are saying like, oh no, I'm not trying to come do all that strenuous labor. Like, all right, hey, they're always hiring. So the decision is completely yours. But until next time, not until next time, actually, you guys, if this is the first video you have watched, I will implore you all to go back and watch my bus build that was never complete, but you know, it's a little bit of inspiration with that, because then you get to see when I post about Le Van, you'll know all about it. But until next time,